I have a family member who has gotten involved in a religion that most of Christianity would define, let's say, as being a cult, okay? So that whole soul extinction kind of relates to some cults out there. What should I be doing to help this family member who is committed to their new religion? I'm very concerned for this person's soul, and this is from Phyllis. So obviously it's kind of related.
Yeah. Phyllis, if you saw the program last week, and you kind of remember those 3 requirements for a mortal sin, grievous matter, right, sufficient reflection and full consent of the will, it's pretty clear that relative seems to not, fully consent to the will of denying, God. That they're trying to really pursue God, but somehow they're really in an erroneous pattern. So in other words, they're not sufficiently reflective. They don't have full consent of the will. So they go to this other religion, thinking that they are pursuing God and thinking, that they're trying to follow their own conscience in pursuing God. And the Catholic Church actually does consider this in the documents of Vatican II, both in Lumen Gentium and Gaudium et Spes. But it does it in the context of other religions. And so in Lumen Gentium, the Church Fathers, the Council Fathers ask, okay, can others who are not Catholics or who do not belong to our religion, not of any fault of their own, but by an ignorant choice or just simply, an illusory choice, or they're deceived into a choice, but they think they're following their consciences and they're trying to pursue God as best they know Him. Would those people, be saved as well? And the answer to the question is the Council Father said yes, they can be saved by the action, the redemptive action of Jesus' passion, death, and resurrection, and that in point of fact, if they meet those requirements of trying to follow God as best they know and following their conscience, right, the moral integrity, right, as best they know, right, yes, then the salvation afforded by Christ is available to them. So that's set out in the Second Vatican Council. And if your person, your relative there, if he is truly thinking that he, is pursuing God and his conscience, and he's really been deceived by some people. And there are some very, very persuasive, people out there who are trying to have people, abandon their Catholic faith. Then he could almost innocently, or she could almost innocently be pursuing this, in which case God would make heaven available to them. But I would say this to them. I would just say, hey, listen, I don't think you've got the full truth here. I don't think you're really aware of everything that's going on. I'll tell you what, I don't want to sit there and argue with you every time we meet.
Right.
But, I just want to keep the door open. If you start having doubts about this person, or you start having doubts about the doctrine that you're hearing, or you start having doubts, that what's going on here, is authentic religion or is authentically Christ, please, call me day or night at midnight. Just call me. I really want to talk to you about this, because normally when people kind of come out of their illusion or come out of, sometimes being majorly deceived, they already are aware that there's something inauthentic going on here. There's something very un-Christ-like going on here. Something begins to show itself, as it were. The devil shows his own, a little bit of the tail there, as it were. You start getting a sense, you know, there's something very wrong going on here, or I think there's something very wrong going on here, and then keep the invitation open for that person to truly you know, come to you day or night to talk about this. Because if they're on to the deceit, or they're on to a charlatan, or they're on to inauthenticity, or they're on to something unchristlike, then you can, you know, that's the occasion to really bring them back into the doctrine of the church. And of course, that's where they will be vouchsafed. But I think you can depend, if they really are deceived, you can depend on God's mercy to, at the end of the day, you know, help them.